There's a moment in life. It doesn't always come with a signal. It slips in quietly after restless nights, shattered plans, and endless attempts to mend what refuses to yield. You've been pouring in effort, haven't you? Hustling, planning, affirming, visualizing, praying, pushing, yet nothing shifts. You stare at the stars and murmur, "Why isn't it happening?" Here's the raw, freeing truth. You've been gripping too tightly, trying to force fate with a clenched heart. The universe doesn't respond to force. It responds to release. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist persists, and it grows stronger." Deep down, while you're chasing your dreams, your energy whispers, "I'm not enough. I'm scared. I'm missing something." And the universe, it hears your vibration, not your words. That's why your hustle hasn't bloomed. Not because you're failing, not because you're flawed, but because you're stuck in survival, trying to control what was never yours to cage. You don't attract what you chase. You attract what you embody. When your identity is built on fixing, striving, proving, your reality mirrors the very void you're running from. So what if I told you the most powerful step is to pause, not out of defeat, but out of trust, not from weakness, but from wisdom. When you stop forcing, something begins. When the chaos quiets, your deeper self awakens. When you stop meddling, your psyche starts to heal, your shadows start to merge, and life begins to align on its own. This isn't the end of effort, it's the start of surrender, not giving up, but giving over to something vast, something eternal. Let go and see what unfolds. Chapter 1. Stop running, you're blocking yourself. We've been fed a myth that success demands pursuit, that happiness comes from relentless chasing, that if you just push harder, run faster, grind longer, your desires will land in your lap. But Jung didn't teach us to chase dreams. He taught us to turn inward, to ask, why am I running at all? Sometimes what you're chasing isn't the true desire. It's a bandage for a deeper scar. When you ache for love so fiercely it consumes you, is it love you seek, or are you soothing the fear of being left again? When you obsess over success, is it really about achievement, or are you proving your worth to those who made you feel small? Jung's brilliance wasn't in inspiration, it was in excavation. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will steer your life, and you'll call it destiny. If you don't face your shadows, they'll shape your desires. Without you knowing, you'll keep chasing things, thinking they'll complete you, but life doesn't deliver what you want, it delivers what you are. If you're wounded, desperate, fractured, every goal will evade you because your energy screams, 'I'm not whole, I'm not worthy, I need this to feel enough.' The universe mirrors your frequency. You say, 'Give me abundance,' but your vibration says, 'I'm lacking.' So life agrees, you're right. This is why people collapse, chasing dreams that drain them, relationships that break them, validation that fades. Not because the goal is wrong, but because the self behind it is bleeding. The obsession isn't about the prize. It's about what you think the prize will heal. Here's the truth. If you got what you wanted today, you couldn't hold it. Your hands are still shaking with old wounds. Jung didn't guide us to manifest from ego. He guided us to integrate the soul, to stop running and start facing the part of you crying, "I'm not chasing goals, I'm chasing wholeness." Before you ask for more, ask yourself, what part of me feels empty? Heal that, and you'll stop chasing what was never yours and start drawing what was always meant for you. This isn't about abandoning dreams, it's about purifying your reasons. Become someone who doesn't need because they're already whole. Only then does the universe stop challenging you and start flowing with you. Chapter 2. Your unconscious is always watching. Most people wake up thinking life is testing them, throwing obstacles to measure their strength. But the truth is deeper, more intimate. You're not being tested, you're being reflected. Life doesn't care about your vision board or your affirmations. It responds to your unconscious identity, the silent beliefs pulsing beneath every choice. Jung saw this with piercing clarity. Your vision clears only when you look within. Those who look outward dream, those who look inward awaken. Stop scanning the horizon for signs. Start reading the ones in your soul. If your unconscious is heavy with doubt, fear, or unworthiness, you could chant affirmations until your voice breaks. It won't land. You can't fool the unconscious. It hears everything, remembers everything, and it's running the show, even when you think you're in charge. That knot in your stomach when you imagine your future, that panic when you wonder how it'll happen, that's not instinct. It's your unconscious shouting, "You don't believe this is possible, do you?" And life mirrors that. It delays the gift, not to punish you, but because your energy says, "I'm not ready." So what do? You stop. Stop begging, stop obsessing, stop piling positivity on top of inner chaos. Real power lies in presence, in slowing down to hear your psyche's whispers. When doubt rises, don't dodge it. When fear arrives, don't drown it in another podcast. Sit with it, decode it. Every fear is a signal, every pause a message. Your unconscious is always speaking. Are you brave enough to listen? When you stop forcing divine timing with human impatience, the shift begins. Your energy aligns, your unconscious softens, and the universe says, "Now you're ready." You're not here to chase alignment. You're here to become it. And becoming starts in stillness. Chapter 3. Letting go is awakening. Detachment isn't defeat, it's liberation. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about reclaiming your energy from places it was never meant to linger. It's the quiet trust that says, "I've done my part. Now I release what I can't control." Jung knew transformation doesn't happen in obsession. It happens in surrender. Not apathy, but alignment. You can't fake letting go. You can't post "I'm over it" on social media while checking your phone for their name, for a sign, for a shift. The unconscious doesn't hear your words. It feels your vibration. If your energy still says, "I need this to be whole," life will keep showing you the ways you're not. Detachment isn't the absence of desire, it's the absence of neediness. It's the inner knowing that says, "Even if this never arrives, I am enough." And here's the paradox. When your energy aligns with that truth, everything starts to flow. Not because you forced it, but because you stopped resisting it. Life bends for those who are whole, not those begging to be filled. If you're caught in the cycle of waiting, obsessing, hoping, pause. Not to distract yourself, but to ask, what part of me believes this one thing will fix me? That part doesn't need fixing. It needs seeing. Not by the world, not by your past, but by you. When you see yourself clearly, without shame or judgment, you stop seeking external mirrors and become your own. That's where the shift begins. No chasing, no begging, just being, fully unapologetically you. Chapter 4. Embrace the silence after you let go. After the striving, the clinging, the pleading, something strange happens. Nothing. No signs, no breakthroughs, just quiet. You wake up and the world feels the same. Your phone stays silent, your heart still aches, the door hasn't opened. The voice inside whispers, "Was it even worth it?" This is the moment that breaks. Most people, we're taught that letting go brings instant rewards, but the universe doesn't follow your schedule. It follows your energy. Before it delivers, it tests who you've become without the thing you wanted. This is the void, the in-between where your old self has faded, but your new self hasn't emerged. It's terrifying because there's no roadmap, no proof you're on the right path, just you, your thoughts, and a silence that demands trust in the unseen. Jung called this the creative void. In every chaos, there's a cosmos. In every disorder, a hidden order. What feels like nothing is a deep, internal rewiring. Your soul is under construction. Old wounds are releasing. New beliefs are rooting. Your nervous system is learning to receive what you once begged for. The trap is believing This stillness means failure. Your ego screams, "It's not working." If you buy that lie, you'll sabotage yourself, chasing again, blocking what was forming in the quiet. The void isn't punishment, it's purification. It strips away your reliance on validation, control, outcomes, until only your truth remains. In that space, you're asked to embody the outcome before it arrives. Can you feel abundant before the money comes? Can you feel loved before the relationship appears? Can you feel free before the world changes? If you can, you collapse time. You turn waiting into becoming, stillness into magnetism. You become the vibration of your desire, and life has no choice but to meet you there. So if you're in the void, hold steady. Don't fix, don't panic, just breathe. Align, listen. Once you master this sacred pause, once you stop needing proof and start embodying presence, life will get loud again. But this time, it'll echo your truth. Chapter 5. Integrate, don't. Obsess. Every desire you feel isn't random. It's a signal, a mirror, a call from your unconscious. It's not the universe taunting you. It's an invitation to awaken something within. Jung's individuation wasn't about chasing perfection. It was about embracing wholeness. You don't want wealth just for money. You want safety. You don't want love just for connection. You want to feel seen. You don't want success just for praise. You want to know you're enough. The desire isn't the issue. The unconscious attachment beneath it is. People get stuck here, obsessing, mistaking longing for action. They check their phone, reread old texts, overthink every pause, every shift, calling it manifestation. But Jung taught us to integrate, not obsess. Wholeness comes from embracing all of you, your light, your shadow, your strength, your shame. When you hold both your power and your pain, you stop needing the world to complete you. You become full. The next time you feel the urge to chase, pause. Not from laziness, but from mastery. Ask, what part of me thinks this will make me whole? When you realize you're already complete, the obsession fades, replaced by clarity, calm, and true magnetism. You stop needing the world to validate you, and that's when it starts responding differently. Your energy says, "I'm already there." You don't chase, you don't beg. You allow, you receive, you are. Chapter 6. The ego craves control. The soul craves peace. That part of you refreshing your inbox, replaying conversations, watching the clock, asking, "Why isn't it here yet?" That's not your higher self. That's your ego, screaming for certainty, terrified of the unknown. It needs control to feel safe, and without it, it spirals, turning fear into urgency and calling it intuition. But it's not intuition, it's unhealed pain, dressed as impatience. Jung lived this inner battle and taught us the human experience is a dance between ego and soul. The ego demands proof. The soul trusts truth. The ego says, "I need to control this to avoid pain." The soul says, "I've survived worse, let's flow." The ego chases outcomes. The soul seeks alignment. The ego needs to know how it'll happen. The soul knows it will. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." That true self isn't the one panicking, it's the one beneath, calm, complete, unafraid of silence. To find that self, pause when fear rises. Interrupt the spiral. Ask, is this my ego or my essence? If it's pressure, anxiety, desperation, that's ego. If it's peace, ease, surrender, that's soul. This doesn't mean abandoning dreams. It means releasing the fear that chokes them. Stop suffocating your desires with doubt. When you do, you don't need to chase. You become the magnet. Everything meant for you arrives, not on your timeline, but on divine time. Desperation screams, but alignment whispers. It doesn't plead, it doesn't chase, it simply unfolds. If you're caught in a moment of doubt right now, resist the urge to drown it in noise, distractions, or self-criticism. Close your eyes. Rest your hand on your heart and ask, what would the healed version of me do? Then do it. not to force an outcome, but to root yourself in truth. You're not here to control the universe, you're here to co-create with it. And co-creation doesn't bloom from panic, it thrives in peace. Choose peace, even when it feels unsteady, even when there's no proof, even when your ego whispers, "This isn't working." Because when you choose peace over pressure, the world begins to shift. You're no longer a bystander in your story, you become its architect. Peace is your guide. Follow it, and everything meant for you will find you. Chapter 7. Shadow. Work is your true manifestation. You can't build a better life by only embracing the polished parts of yourself. You can't call in abundance while shunning the parts of you that feel scared, angry, ashamed, or small. The universe doesn't just answer your dreams, it answers your wholeness. And wholeness means facing the parts of you you've spent a lifetime avoiding. Carl Jung called it the shadow, not a villain, not some dark force, but the hidden self you buried to survive. The fears you silenced, the anger you swallowed, the guilt you hid, the unworthiness you masked as ambition. Most think manifestation is about vision boards, affirmations, and high vibes, but true manifestation, deep, lasting, soul-aligned creation, comes from integration, not fantasy. Let's be honest, when you obsess over love, it's rarely about love itself. It's a wound crying, "If I'm chosen, maybe I'll feel worthy." When you chase wealth, it's not just ambition, it's a belief whispering, "I'm not safe without more." Here's the catch. If your desires are rooted in shadow, in lack, fear, or pain, what you attract will mirror that. You'll draw a partner who stirs your deepest insecurities, money that slips away, success that feels hollow. Why? Because you manifested from a fractured self. Jung taught that the unconscious runs your life until you bring it into the light. Otherwise, you'll call it fate when it's really your shadows pulling the strings. The real question isn't, how do I get more? It's, what part of me still believes I'm not enough? That's where shadow work starts. It's not easy, it's raw, uncomfortable, asking you to stop blaming the world and look within. Stop pointing at what didn't happen and ask, what part of me wasn't ready to receive? This isn't about guilt, it's about power. It's about holding space for every version of you, the light, the dark, and saying, you're allowed to exist, you're allowed to be seen, you don't control me anymore. When you see your shadow, it stops operating in secret. It stops creating chaos to get your attention. You reclaim your power, and your frequency shifts. You no longer manifest from fear, you magnetize from wholeness. This isn't fluffy spirituality, it's quantum alignment, nervous system safety, becoming the version of you who doesn't need the world to fix what your soul has already healed. You stop forcing, start allowing. You stop proving, start radiating. Your energy says, it's already done. That inner reality reshapes the outer world, not through scripting or chasing, but through fierce, grounded integration. This is the work, not the shiny social media version of spirituality, but the real work. Look in the mirror and say, I've been chasing my future without facing my past. No more. Now you go inward. Now you confront what's been silently steering your life. When you do, the illusion shatters, your power returns, and your reality begins to reflect your wholeness. Not your wounds. That's manifestation. That's individuation. That's freedom. Chapter 8. You are your own obstacle. Here's the hardest truth. The only thing blocking your dream life is you. Not your past, not your pain, not the universe. You. Carl Jung, who peered into the depths of the human soul, said something hauntingly true. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. Terrifying, because it means facing the parts you've avoided your whole life, the shame, the regret, the fear that maybe you're not enough. So instead of looking inward, you chase outward. You seek someone to tell you you're worthy, you grind for love, you hustle for success, manifesting not from faith, but from a desperate need to escape yourself. Here's the raw reality. Anything You chase to avoid yourself will evade you. You think you're building your dream life, but you're using that dream to dodge the silence of who you are now. The universe isn't punishing you, it's protecting you. It knows if you got everything you wanted today, you couldn't hold it because part of you still feels unworthy. Jung pointed to a deeper truth. When you don't fully accept yourself, you become fragmented. Your conscious mind says, "I want more," but your unconscious whispers, "I'm not ready." Your energy becomes a contradiction, pushing away what it claims to want. You become the obstacle to your own destiny, not because you're weak, but because you're living from an outdated self, shaped by survival, molded by wounds, taught to earn love instead of receive it. The tragedy is most people spend their lives chasing outcomes when what they need is to shift their identity. You don't need to do more. You need to become the version of you who doesn't chase, the version who already feels what you're trying to manifest, the version who believes, "I am worthy, I am ready, I am enough." Here's the universal law no one talks about. You don't receive what you want, you receive what you are. If deep down you feel unworthy, no amount of affirmations will stop you from sabotaging every opportunity, every connection, every blessing. Your energy doesn't match your intention. If you're stuck, if life feels stagnant, it's not because the universe is ignoring you. It's because your inner frequency says, "I don't deserve this yet." The universe isn't cruel. It's honest, reflecting your truth back to you, not to break you, but to awaken you. Stop blaming the world. Stop calling it bad luck. Stop asking why nothing works. Instead, ask, what part of me still believes I must suffer to receive? The moment you stop chasing outcomes and start evolving your self-concept, everything shifts, not instantly, not magically, but steadily from within, the way true change always does. You're not stuck. You're not cursed. You're being called to rise, to grow into the version of you who can hold what you've been asking for, not just for a moment, but for a lifetime. When that inner shift happens, you don't force manifestation, you become it. That's alignment, that's individuation, that's the power of fully embracing yourself. Final chapter. You're not manifesting, you're remembering. Let's close with the deepest truth Carl Jung ever hinted at, a truth so potent it doesn't just shift your perspective, it restores your essence. You're not manifesting, you're remembering. All this time you thought you were creating a new life, pulling something external toward you, love, success, peace, abundance. You've been doing the work, affirmations, visualizations, shadow work, healing, trying to bring something into being. But what if the real work isn't about creating, but uncovering what's always been there? Jung's genius wasn't about achieving more. It was about revealing that you were never missing anything. The pieces you've been chasing are fragments of yourself you left behind. Let this sink in. The version of you who has the love you seek already exists. It's not a future self. It's your original essence. But somewhere along the way, the world's noise grew loud. It convinced you that you had to chase to be worthy, to earn love, to prove your value, to sacrifice your truth to be seen. So you forgot your wholeness, your divinity, your natural alignment. You didn't lose your power, you lost your connection to it. Now, as you walk this path of healing and growth, you're not building something new. You're peeling away what's not you. The fear, the shame, the overthinking, the attachments, the stories, all of it is just noise muffling the signal of your soul. Jung didn't offer a system to fix you because you're not broken. You don't need fixing, you need revealing. The anxious, insecure self you've been carrying isn't you. It's a mask, a survival tool shaped by years of emotional neglect and spiritual amnesia. The real you is the witness, the soul beneath, the one who remembers stillness, who doesn't chase because it already embodies, who doesn't cling because it already is. When you stop striving, stop scripting, stop manifesting from fear, you return to your original frequency, the one you were born with, the one that trusts, that knows everything meant for you will arrive. Surrender isn't a shortcut, it's your natural state. It's the state of being where soul overrides ego, where alignment replaces anxiety. If you're trapped in the cycle, trying to think your way into a future, forcing divine timing on your schedule, pause. The universe isn't against you. It's reminding you of what you forgot. You were never here to beg for your life. You're here to remember it's already yours. Become the version of you who can receive it, and you'll stop chasing. You are not late. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are remembering, and your return begins now. If even one sentence here stirred something in you, don't let it slip away. Don't let this moment dissolve into the noise of your day. This wasn't just words. It was a mirror, a moment, a message you were meant to find. Not by chance, but by alignment. Jung said, we meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life. Maybe this was one of those disguises, a nudge, a checkpoint, reminding you that you're not here to chase the world, but to return to yourself. If you felt a shift, even for a moment, declare it below. I let go. I align. I receive. Not for attention, but to anchor it in your unconscious, to say, this time I choose alignment over obsession, self over survival, becoming over begging. Like this, not to feed an algorithm, but to ground this energy in your nervous system, to tell your soul, this moment mattered. I'm different now. Subscribe if you're done with quick fixes and ready for Jungian truths that rebuild you from within. This isn't just a message, it's a journey for souls ready to remember. Share this with someone you care about, someone lost in the cycle, chasing everything but themselves. Jung said, your vision clears only when you look into your heart. Who looks outward dreams, who looks inward awakens. This is your moment to awaken, to turn inward, to stop seeking and start seeing. In a world obsessed with more, stillness is rebellion, presence is power, doing nothing is the bravest act of becoming. So breathe, feel, remember. You're not manifesting, you're remembering. And your return starts now.